Alright, so in this recording, we're going to start looking at geologic time. And this will actually be the first of 6 recordings on geologic time. This first will just introduce the geologic time scale, a simple version and a more complicated version. The next will actually look at how the different spans of time in the geologic time scale are decided on, because they're not arbitrary to say the least. And then the last 4 recordings will actually go over different spans of time in Earth's history, starting with the Precambrian, then the Paleozoic, the Mesozoic, and finally the Cenozoic. So on the slide, we have 2 simplified versions of the geologic timescale. Both of these diagrams contain portions that are inaccurate, either because they were oversimplified or simply because they're outdated. And you'll see lots of diagrams floating around on the internet, so this is just a warning that some of them, like these common ones, may be a bit out of date or maybe oversimplified. But these 2 are also fairly good for, our purposes and the level of detail we need to go to. So looking at the one on the left, we can see that geologic time is divided into 4 sort of categories when we're looking at spans of time. The sort of largest category is the eon. Eons span either hundreds of millions or billions of years. The first is the Hadean, a sort of theoretical eon where the Earth was a big ball of molten rock, about 500 million years. The Archean, 1.5 billion years. Proterozoic, approximately 2 billion years. And the Phanerozoic, 541 million years, and counting. So very long spans of time. Eons are subdivided into eras. For the Phanerozoic, these eras are the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic, each of them either tens or hundreds of millions of years long. Eras are subdivided into periods. We'll go over each of the periods of the eras on the diagram in the later recordings. And periods can be subdivided into epochs, and even epochs can be subdivided into smaller categories. Each of these spans of time are separated by different types of geologic events. And eons are, of course, separated by more major, big, earth-changing geologic events than, say, eras, which are still separated by quite important geologic events, and then they get less important the shorter the time span. So before I move to the next slide, spend some time looking at these 2 diagrams and think about, can you spot any differences between the 2? And also think about why Earth's history might be broken up like this. Why use this rather than, say, equal periods of time, say, periods of 10 million years or so? So also for interest's sake, I have included a much more accurate geologic timescale known as the International Chronostratigraphic Chart. And this provides much more detail. It subdivides the epochs into stages and ages. It includes epochs that are not included in the other diagrams. And it also has these golden spikes. And golden spikes are actually places on Earth that you can visit, that where the rock record shows, or the geologic record shows or provides evidence of the specific event that's used to delineate the spans of time on the geologic timescale. And I encourage you to go to their website using the slides in the description to access the clear PDF, but also the interactive chart, which allows you to explore this timescale more easily. So how do we break up Earth's history into different periods of time? That is a question we'll answer in the next recording.